Hello and welcome to this presentation. My name is Jean-Bernard Felice. I'm a senior lecturer at the University of Edinburgh and a co-director of the university's Centre of African Studies. I'm also one of the academic co-directors of the WESAF doctoral program for the Edinburgh side. And today I'll be introducing the MScR Sustainable African Futures. I'll be doing that with my colleague at the University of the Witwatersrand, Professor Sumaya Laya. So this presentation is just a brief overview of what we're trying to achieve with this program and also what you will need to demonstrate to be accepted into the program. If you have any question, there will be a link at the end of the presentation for asking these questions and finding more information about the program. So just very quickly, I'm going to be talking about the MRES or MScR Sustainable African Futures. This program is a taught program, a one-year, mostly online taught program. It is not a PhD program. Right? It is a program that, as I will explain, will help you prepare for a PhD, but we are not talking about a program that includes a PhD at the end. If you are keen to do a PhD, this is a great program to get your ideas in place, get a good sound proposal in place, perfect your skills, but you will need to apply to a PhD program at WITS, at Edinburgh, or in a different institution. So no funding is guaranteed for a PhD and no admission is guaranteed with the MRES Sustainable African Futures. So what is the background for this program? The background is a realization that we face two interrelated challenges. One is about what we call inclusive societies. These are societies where humans can grow with dignified employment, with meaningful education, with high quality healthcare, quality of life, if you want. Second challenge, as we all know, is the challenge of climate change and environmental sustainability. These two are closely connected, and these two are playing out with particular importance on the African continent. Now, the solutions cannot come from the global north. The solutions need to come from the global south, from the people who are experiencing these challenges. A just transition, as we call it, should respond to local needs and resource availability. So in that context, we decided to launch the MRES Sustainable African Futures. The idea is to equip universities to grapple with complex continental challenges for sustainable development that can only be done through an approach that is across the different disciplines, so that is transdisciplinary, that is interdisciplinary, and that can only be done in partnership with the real world, if you want, the world outside of academia, industry, non-profits, and a wide range of different stakeholders. And the last key pillar to do this is the idea of networking. This idea that research capacity will really be built if it connects the different actors on the African continent. So the outcomes of the program of the MRES Sustainable African Futures, the graduates will be qualified to drive advanced sustainability research in their countries of origin and beyond. The outcome is also that the cohort will include researchers from historically marginalized groups. We really want this new research community to be inclusive. And then there's this idea of a partnership with organizations beyond academia, which I've already mentioned on previous slides. So what we're targeting to do here is to recruit a new cohort. So we already have a cohort that has completed the program in 2024. Some of them, 24 of them, went on to do a PhD. What we're talking about today is the recruitment for a second cohort, which is then due to start in 2026. We have 17 scholarships for it, so targeting 17 students. And that's for, as I said, a Master by Research, MRes or MScR. This is a blended hybrid program. It's called differently in different places, but essentially it's primarily online, but with very important in-person events, mostly towards the beginning and the end of the program. That's what we call the sustainability schools. There will be for this program in South Africa. So most of the coursework, as I said, will be online, and most of it will be delivered from by academics from the University of Edinburgh, where I am based. We are building on, as I said, the first cohort that completed in 2024, but also building on online modules that have been running for quite a few years now, with a pedagogical approach that is adapted to online learning. So this gives you an overview of what the training pathway looks like. So September 26th is the pre-orientation, kind of getting things started. This is in person at Wits University. In the first semester, so between September and December, you're taking the first 2 core courses. In January and March, so between January and March, so the second semester, you take the 3rd core course, and you also start working on your dissertation. You'll be allocated a supervisor for your dissertation. The dissertation mostly consists of writing an extensive research proposal, so that you're really in a good place to think about research and potentially further down the line to apply for a PhD if that's what you want to do. There is a second sustainability school, probably around April or May. Again, this will be in South Africa. And then you're completing the program towards August with the submission of your dissertation. And obviously, for the dissertation, you will meet online with your supervisor. You will get feedback on your progress. So what is the scholarship covering? The scholarship is covering your tuition fees. That's everything related to registering to the program and being enrolled in the program. We're also covering your participation in the sustainability schools. So that's your cost to travel to Johannesburg, and everything from visa to vaccination, and obviously your stay. We're also giving students a stipend, and usually it would be a stipend to basically cover workload relief. We're expecting quite a few of the students on our cohort to be staff members at different African institutions, just covering a workload relief, right? So the idea is that you will be working less, so you have time to do the program. We also include laptops and connectivity, because a lot of it will be online, and obviously you're not expected to have to pay to access any of the resources. So all the readings, for instance, have been digitized, and you will have access to them through the Edinburgh portals. I'm now going to pass over to my colleague Sumaya to cover the rest of the presentation.
Okay, thank you to JB for passing this on to me. As JB mentioned, my name is Sumaya. I'm a professor of psychology at Wits, and today I am presenting in my capacity as co-director for the Wits Edinburgh Sustainable African Futures. I do this along with Professor Brett Bowman, and we are the directorship on the Wits side. So who would be eligible to apply for this scholarship? So this scholarship is available to early career researchers and university staff members who meet the requirements to pursue a social science master's degree at the University of Edinburgh. Thus, in order to apply for this program, all applicants must have successfully completed a university degree that will qualify for entry into a master's program at the University of Edinburgh. And so before applying, it's important that you go and check that your most recent qualification will actually qualify you to apply for entry into this program. Because the University of Edinburgh is an English, it's a university with the language of teaching and learning is English, it is important that all candidates demonstrate a level of English language competency. And so if you completed your last degree less than 3.5 years ago, then you, at an English-speaking university, you should meet the English language competency requirement. However, if your degree was not completed at an English-speaking university, then you would need to take an English proficiency test. However, we would not advise that you take this test before application. After shortlisting, the WESAF team will be in touch to inform you if you need to take this test and provide the necessary support to facilitate that. That includes paying the fees for the test if it's necessary. So please do not do an English proficiency test until such time as your application is in and you are shortlisted. It's also important that you should be under 35 years or under once the program commences. So this program is funded by the MScR Foundation Scholars Program, and so our eligibility criteria for the program are the eligibility criteria as would apply at the University of Edinburgh, as would apply also for the WESAF program, which is a partnership between University of Edinburgh and the University of Witwatersrand, but also in relation to the MScR Foundation Scholars Program overall funding requirements for eligibility. And so amongst that should be the age criterion, where people should be under 35 or under for the year that the program commences. And so anybody born in 1990 and prior will not be eligible for this program. Since it's a program that is focused at capacitating people who are interested in a career in research or academia, it is very important that anyone who applies for this program be a recent graduate, and this would be a recent graduate from our 14 partner universities, and I'll mention to you in a bit when I show you the slide who these universities are, but it should be a recent graduate from 14 partner universities with strong interests in pursuing a career in academia and or research. If you're not a recent graduate, but you are demonstrably involved in research projects at one of the 14 partner universities, and of course, if your degree was completed within the time frame of 3.5 years at the partner universities, you would be eligible to apply. Alternately, if you are a staff member at one of the 14 partner universities, and this could include a staff member who is a lecturer staff, a researcher, your professional services staff, you'd be eligible to apply. The program does have a very strong social science emphasis. And so it would ideally suit early career researchers or staff in the arts or humanities, or if you're based in engineering or if you're based in one of the other disciplines, but your kind of research interests would have a social science element to it, this would be a good program for you to consider. You should also be a resident and citizen or hold refugee status in an African country. And we would particularly like to encourage applications from women, applicants from refugee and displaced backgrounds, candidates with disabilities, and candidates who have not completed a master's degree. You are all encouraged to apply. The 14 partner higher education institutions from which we would consider eligibility are the 14 institutions listed on this slide. These are the 14 institutions who are collaborating with WESAF on the Sustainable African Futures program. So I won't read them aloud. I will just leave some time for you to have a look at what the 14 eligible institutions are. But these are also easily accessible on the WESAF website, and we will give you the links to that in a bit as well. Okay, so how do you apply? You have to complete the online application form, and the QR code for that appears on screen. So you could just scan that. Alternatively, you can apply. You can go directly to the WESAF website, and the application link will appear there, and we'll give you the website links in a bit as well. It's important to note that the applications opened on 10th of December and will close on the 2nd of February. We hope to share the decisions by mid-March 2026. And if you don't hear from us by then, you are welcome to email as per the contact details provided on the next slide. As part of the application, you will also need to include the names and contact details of 2 academic referees. Please make sure that you inform the referees when you are putting their names down so that they know to respond as soon as they receive a request from us about a reference for you. In addition to the online application form, you will need to upload the following mandatory documents. So you will need to upload your curriculum vitae, your CV, and you should ensure that your CV includes a list of publications if you have any publications. We will also need your final official university degree certificate for the last most recent degree that you've completed, as well as a final official university transcript. And that brings us to the end of our session. We thank you for your attention. We hope that this has clarified everything you need to know for applying for the MScR in Sustainable African Futures. As mentioned, you can visit the WESAF website for any further information that you require. If you have any admission-related queries, there's the email address that you can contact at the University of Edinburgh. If you have any specific queries linked to the MSc in Sustainable African Futures, you can contact us at the WESAF email address that appears on screen. If you do need any further information, you can scan the QR code which takes you to the WESAF website, and you can use that QR code to scan to apply for this program. So we thank you for your attention today, and we hope that this presentation was useful in providing information for application to the Masters in Sustainable African Futures at the University of Edinburgh.